Okay, that was a swallow, and literally right when we went live. All right, we're going live. Gonna hit the 30-second countdown really quick while we get situated here. So, hi everyone, thank you for joining. We'll be right back.
I live in dead, I'll die indebted to your hold. Born again, I swear I wouldn't breathe a word. If you could find me, take me back and make me whole. We're a circus, ruin my body with your corpse. So can you help me out?
This song gets stuck in my head all weekend every time we live stream.
And I don't hear
It's-
it on my side.
It's so weird because like I don't listen to it every during the weekend, and on Friday I listen to it and then I play it all weekend and then I stop and then we come back around to it. I'm like, get out of my head. All right. Sorry, I was talking with my mouth full because I was trying to crush a bagel before I filled myself up with all this sugar. So hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Crafty Mess. Today is our monthly mukbang and murders with a special macaron edition. And we do the mukbang stuff once a month just to kind of give ourselves a break from crafting. Not that I need it necessarily, but I think it's just a fun thing to add on to our little shindig here. Hello, Katrina.
Hi, Katrina.
I saw you with the face mask on Instagram. Look at the left. Self-care. So yeah. And let's see, where was my, oh yeah, so mukbang murder, monthly thing. So today we're going to be doing macarons, which I think we wanted to stick with the M. What's that called when you like have all like the same letters? It's there's a word for it. So
I don't know.
what's it called? Like alliteration? Is it alliterating?
Mnemonic?
Yeah, I think it's alliteration.
Oh,
Is it
okay.
mnemonic or is it alliteration? It's one of the two. Anyway,
Mnemonic is, yeah, it's used to just remember things, but yeah, things that starts with in the same category, like I don't know.
like the same letters? Yeah, I think it's alliteration.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? Because this is not an English session. This is about murder and eating. So here we are. So we decided to do macarons. I did not go and pick up some from the fresh bakery like Mel did because I clearly am a heathen. And and Katrina was like, I love your shirt. Thank you. It's very appropriate.
Tony gave me a shirt like that too. And I actually wanted to create more shirts like that because I love noodles, so it's like perfect.
Yeah, I saw this at like it was at Five Below, and I was like, $5.
Nice.
All right. It was this one, and
Hey.
this one was like a pop.
We should probably get together and I think some designs and do some merch because I would
Oh my
totally
gosh.
buy one. I would totally buy one
Mel is
with
like,
our logo.
she's like extending our brand, and I'm just
Yes.
over here like, well, I know she's like,
Yes.
merch. Let's. We like all of our stuff now is going to be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, which thanks to Mel, she did all of that.
Yeah, it's like 5 episodes currently on there on Spotify. Apple Podcasts is just a little bit tricky because it takes a little bit longer to get approved. But yeah, we're on Spotify, so you can listen to us on there. Woot woot.
And when we say we, Mel did all that.
I don't know. It's all collaborative.
No, Mel definitely did this one. I was just like, here's the branding, here's the so she did all of it. It was really good. So I was like super duper impressed the whole time. She like knocked it out super quickly yesterday too.
Yeah.
So I have my frozen macarons here, and remember when you came to visit, I took you to HEB.
The what?
And remember when you came to visit, I took you to HEB,
yes.
the grocery store.
Yeah, is that where you got it from?
Yeah, and Katrina, when you came to visit, I took you to HEB too. Like HEB and Buc-ee's is like the thing here. So, so I got this from HEB, and it's by Pauline. This is actually really good. It's not Like you would think frozen would be kind of like it's really good, but anyways,
No,
that's where I got
no.
mine from.
As long as the macarons is actually of good quality, like they are supposed. If you don't want to eat them right away, you can freeze them, and then you just let them thaw for a little bit, and they actually are really good. So I keep mine in the fridge, but if I buy like in bulk, then I'll keep them in the freezer for sure. Yeah, they
Yeah.
last pretty long. But where I got
Yeah.
mine at Too Sweet, my favorite bakery place. And they're so good. The owner is from France, from Paris. So I picked up a few macarons and also some like pain au chocolat. Just to like have on the show.
Well, I got Hyundai without the chocolate.
Nice. Le croissant.
Like just le croissant, which is funny because we didn't even talk about this. And we're like, gonna get some of this.
But you
no, I literally
need
did it.
pastries to go with macarons. Like, can't. I mean, they're both sweet, but still, you need a little bit more carbs.
No, I literally just did an Instacart pickup because I was like, this week
That's
it
crazy.
felt long again. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been another long week for me. So here we are. Elle, your microphone has you sounding kind of wonky. Is it me? Maybe
Yeah,
it's
see,
me
I
the whole
thought it
time.
wasn't. Okay.
Okay, maybe it's me this whole time. Hold on.
I wasn't sure if it was sounding okay.
Okay, it's definitely me then. Thanks, Katrina.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, do I sound
I
better
want to
now?
do like yes, I want to do
Hello,
like a sound
hello.
test, but yeah, you're much better.
Oh, you know what it is? It was that the headphone was trying to connect to two laptops.
That's why. Why is it
Yeah, and
sounding so staticky?
yeah. Is it still sounding staticky or no?
No, you're sounding much better. I was
Okay.
hoping that I
Okay.
wouldn't have to hear the whole thing, but
Okay. Thank you guys for definitely so Tiffany's in here.
thank
No,
you.
definitely for like, keeping us on top of things. Cause yeah, I think my headset was
Hi,
connected to two.
Tiffany.
All
Mm,
right, thanks ladies for keeping a lookout. So I'm gonna crack open this baby here. So
okay.
it's Too Sweet. Yours is like a small business, right? That
It
is
is a small business, yeah, and
okay.
they're
Okay.
yeah. But I love that. I love that
Okay.
place. I go to it quite often. The way they spell it, Too Sweet actually in French means right away. But
Uh-huh.
they spell the last word, which is supposed to be spelled like SUITE.
SUI. Yeah.
They spell
Yeah.
it with like SWEET.
Okay. Because the Too Sweet here is
Yeah.
is SUITE, but it's like a bakery / brunch place. Did I take you there too?
Okay.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I
You
did.
may have, yeah. Yeah, but they spell it with
Uh-huh.
SWEET, which I love the play on words.
Yeah. Okay. Cool beans. I'm gonna crack mine open. And I'm a monster.
Mhm.
I like to eat it straight from the freezer.
That's okay.
Yeah. It's okay. No,
Mhm.
I just have no class. It comes to
Sorry.
macarons.
That's
Macarons,
okay.
like Mel is definitely like the connoisseur of macarons here, and I'm just like I eat it frozen. I eat it straight from the freezer. I cannot even wait for it to thaw out. It's just straight up monster.
It doesn't.
And then
It actually doesn't even take long to thaw. You just need like a few
now.
minutes.
Yeah, but I just love that like first like hard bite, and then all of a sudden it just gets softer and softer and softer as you finish it off. Maybe that's the reason why.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're expensive little things too. They're like $1 each, and then like Grudy, every time she sees them, she just like crushes 5 of them, and I'm like, you just ate $5 worth of sweets, like.
You let her eat because she's a growing baby.
Yeah, but you know what though? She calls them Krabby Patties,
Oh,
like from
why?
SpongeBob. Yeah, so she calls them
I've never
Krabby
watched
Patties.
SpongeBob.
Oh, okay, yeah, she calls them Krabby Patties, which. Okay, so I am glad that the sound is so much better now. I'm sorry about that, you guys. So it's definitely me. Next time I'm just gonna make
No
sure that this
worries.
has strictly connected to this laptop. We're still learning here.
Okay.
Um,
We
but okay,
are.
so today is mukbang murders and macarons, and I guess some
Mhm.
small disclaimers here. These are just opinions, not facts. We are reading things as it unfolds on the news, on YouTube channels and such. So as far
Mhm.
as details, like when it comes to murders and stuff like that, I don't like to go too deep into details like where they work, where they live, and things like that, because I
Right.
feel like the people who are still grieving, I
Mhm.
they need their privacy too. I think that's my disclaimer. Mel, is yours?
And like, we do not condone harassment of any kind or bullying. So like, people who are on here, like if you have any type of disagreements with them, please don't go and harass or page or them in any form. And if just if you have comments, just comment below. And we'll just like we'll talk and we'll go through that.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm like I'm like eating
just
and talking at
yeah.
the same time. So rude.
I know, seriously. And I mean, I guess I'm wondering, like, why aren't the ladies going, no, don't eat with food. The
Yeah, I
voice,
know.
the
It's
sound is horrible. I'm just kidding. It
it's
doesn't
not
sound
like
bad
it's
at
a
all. Like,
mukbang. It's not like it's a mukbang, right?
yeah, yeah. Um, I'm having problems opening this thing. It's really sad right now. Like, and you're already eating two or three already. Okay, so today
I'm just on my
our
first.
first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So our first topic is Alexis Sharkey. And
Hmm.
I think who I think Mel, you probably brought the topic up to me first, right?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
and then I was just telling you about like literally it's like where all of this happened is really close to where I live, which
That
is
is so
around like
scary.
5 or 7 miles. Um
Hmm.
so Alexis Sharkey, I guess like if we give a really quick like background and history on her, do you want to do it or you're gonna be eating? Or I can do part of it and then you can do the other part. Okay,
Okay.
cool. So, okay, just a quick background of Alexis Sharkey. She has an Instagram following of around 21,000 at the time, um, uh, which I think when this happened was in November 2020. So at the time before her death, she had about 21,000 followers. And the reason why I think it really like picked up across the news because even my mother-in-law in Nebraska like saw it and she's like, "Oh my gosh, she's an influencer. She lives in Houston. Do you know her, KL?" And I was like, "No," because as you and I know in the influencer world, 21,000 is literally like nothing in
Yeah.
comparison to I feel like if you're in the industry like a real influencer has like more than 100,000. I think now we're even close to like the
Yeah.
500,000 mark. That would make you a real influencer.
Yeah.
Anyone who has like in the less than 50,000, you are an influencer, but it depends because I guess like it depends on how quality that influence is, right?
It
For
depends on which
Alexis,
platform. I think it depends
yes,
on which platform. So I think like on Instagram, if you're like between 50 plus, then I would say that you're an influencer. But like if you're on
yeah.
YouTube, I say like if you reach 100K plus, then you're on your way to being one.
Yeah, and I think even with like on Instagram, I think around the 500,000 mark would make you like a career influencer,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
yeah, like at the 100,000 mark, you're probably like an influencer, but that's like a hobby on top of something else. Is what
Hmm.
I have been seeing. So same with Alexis. She had 21 at the time, but her side gig was selling for Monet, which is an MLM. So
Hmm.
Lululemon's, Mary Kay, is that still an MLM business structure?
There usually are.
Arbonne,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
Arbonne is another one. I think Young Living, the essential oil,
That
is
jewelry
also
place.
one.
What is that one that everyone
Oh,
always
oh
gets?
yeah,
That jewelry place.
paparazzi.
No, not
Is it called
paparazzi.
paparazzi? That's the one that I'm thinking of.
Um, I forgot. I mean, so people are always selling it, but that's definitely an ML like MLM type of business structure. And I forget
Yeah,
it escapes my mind.
yeah. So Monet is more of like a hair brand. Like they
Hmm.
do
Yeah.
lots of like hair treatments and stuff. I think we can have like a whole conversation of MLM and how that in itself is a little sketch. But aside from
Hmm.
that, like from what it seems, she Avon. Yes, yes, Tiffany. Avon is the other one.
Yeah, Avon's one
Um,
for sure.
that's like
The first
the old
one.
school one. Yeah, like yeah,
Hmm.
my mom used to buy from Avon all the time. And now that I think about it, I'm like,
Yeah,
some of their stuff is so highly scented that like it used to be so strong. But yeah,
it's
that's like
very cheap
old
product.
school. Yeah, yeah. So that was so she did sell Monet. It was definitely like her main gig. It so happened
Hmm.
that she was doing some of the influencing thing too, because it kind of helped promote what she was doing at Monet by showing like her lifestyle and her
Hmm.
traveling and her being a girl boss and a
And she was
hustler and
very,
living her best
yeah,
life.
she was very successful in that business. I
I
guess
think she was
with her
top.
personality,
Uh-huh.
she was one of the top. Yeah, that's why she was able to live that glamorous, influencer life, because she was up there. The more people that you have under you, the less you really have to sell, because the other people are the ones that are selling beneath you, and
Yes.
that's why she was very good, because she was able to gather a lot of like people to sell under her.
Yeah. And the MLM business structure is very it in itself is like kind of questionable, but I
I
mean,
used to do
she
it. I
did do
used to
really
do
well.
one, like back in
Oh, you
college.
did?
When you're trying to,
Yeah,
like I don't know,
but
I
that's
don't know
in
if you guys
college.
know, yeah, but like the cocoa knives, back then, that was, like one of the things. Have you ever heard of him? I still
Yes, but
own the
I'm like,
cocoa knives to this day.
of all the things you could be selling, you're just like, I'm gonna sell some blades.
Oh yeah, blades are in then. No, I'm kidding. No, but I
So
thought it was
clear.
like I was very no, I really love the knives. Like I use them quite often. But then recently got a new set through the Amazon treasure truck. Like occasionally I'll
Mhm.
buy stuff off of that because they're super discounted there, which is great. So I bought like a new set of like Henkel knives. So the ones that I have, the cocoa knives, I gave them to Tony because he needed more knives to use anyway. So I'm like, oh here you go.
Well, I mean, at least they last, right?
They
But that's
last
the
so
problem
long.
is that,
Yeah,
okay, here's my question is, did you do well in
hmm
that business?
I sold one and done. So I had 100% sale.
You have one
I
inventory and you sold one.
yep. I just
That's
because
actually
it
that's pretty
sounds
good turnaround.
yeah, right. I could literally say I sold 100% of my inventory. But like I didn't go further because I was really busy with my other, like I had 3 jobs in college.
Uh-oh. Wait, I can't hear you for some reason. Hello? Did we did you guys lose my audio? Or did I lose Mel's audio? I can't hear Mel anymore. Hello, hello, hello. Is it me? Ouch. Is it me? No. Audio issues. Okay, can you? Hello, hello. What is going on?
Is this better? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Okay, can you hear me now? So weird. Okay, Mel?
Yeah. Why is it that it kicked me off of audio? That's weird.
Yeah, it kicked me off of audio too. So it must have been StreamYard and not us.
Okay, so
It wasn't
rude.
us. Yeah, I know.
That.
Okay, so you're
Um,
saying
I
you
don't
did
remember.
not, you sold one set of knives.
Oh, because
So you
I was
sold,
so yeah, I like was just so busy that summer. Like I had 3 jobs, so I was like overworked, and then I decided to kick Cuckle down the road, which I'm glad. I don't really like selling. You know what I mean? I was good at
yeah.
it eventually, but no, I don't like it.
Well, I guess like I asked because it's like, you have your set of knives for almost what, 15 years. So you
Yeah,
can,
so long.
so
Mhm.
the point of being able to constantly sell things is to hope that it breaks so you can sell them a new set. But like if it every 15 years someone's gonna like replace it, then that's like the
Well,
worst.
so the thing with Cutco is that you actually have to purchase the knives. They don't give that to you.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
anything, every person that they recruit is given sale to those
Hmm.
knives. So I guess I don't think that they're in business anymore, but yeah, I think that's probably like the thing. Who knows?
Well, that's how MLM works, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're number one at top. All your
Yep.
the people that you're mentoring at the bottom have to buy like 15% worth of inventory every
Yep.
month. So technically you're taking that. I mean, like it works out, right?
Yep.
And so I mean that's what she did for a little bit there. And I think the influencer thing was just kind of like a side gig. Um, they recently moved to Houston. I thought she was from Houston, which I was surprised. They
Mm.
moved to Houston in 2020 because before that they were living in Colorado.
Mm.
Um, and because if you look at some of her recent pictures, that is like where she has like hung out in Texas. She went to Marfa, which I also went to with the little
Yeah.
Prada store in the middle of the desert. Um, and then there's like a couple of other places that she like, kind of hang around that I've, been around
Mhm.
as well too. So it's just interesting to like, when you listen to true crime and stuff and you hear it from like a different state or a different city, it's like hard for you to imagine the locale and how things are laid out and where it is and stuff. And
Yep.
so like for her, when they found her body on Black Friday or Saturday or the Saturday of
That's
Black Friday.
crazy.
Yeah. So I guess Thanksgiving night she went out, didn't come home Friday morning, and then her body was found. Was it Friday morning or Saturday morning? It's one of the two, and I can't remember for sure.
From what I thought, her body was found later because
Okay.
didn't it take like a day or something? Or no? Was it the same
Okay.
day?
No, it took about 20. Like I'm trying to think if it was 24 or 48 hours.
Okay. It was
But
very soon. Yeah.
yeah, but it was found in the morning or so because the gentleman who did was
Yes.
doing some landscaping in that
Right,
area and
right.
saw some feet hanging out of the
Yeah,
bushes. Yeah,
they found her like completely without clothing,
yeah,
head down, head down
yeah,
in like the grass area.
yeah.
It is just so sad.
Yeah, it's so like when you brought the story up to me, like I heard some surface stuff around it and I didn't really go into it more because especially when it's like fresh, you
Mhm.
don't have more information, right? But I remember when it was kind of like on the news and stuff and other people were talking about it on social media who don't live in the Houston area. One of the main things was like, I can't believe that they found her just 8 miles from her home. And yeah,
Don't people find bodies like 30 miles? 8 miles is pretty close.
yeah, and they're like, it's just only 8 miles away. It's so close. I can't believe they couldn't find her and stuff. And I was just like, 8 miles, maybe like in a farm or town area is, yeah, close, right? But like when you're talking about Metropolis Houston, like we're talking about 8 miles, but also up too, because it's like, all these buildings, all these bridges, all
Yeah,
of
but
these.
it could be like
It-
she could have been buried. She could have been like, done like there could be a number of reasons why she wasn't being able to found. But even being found 24 to 48 hours, that's really
That's
still
very fast.
fast. Yeah.
But it's also because, and it goes to show how busy this area of
Mhm.
town is for that to happen, right?
Yeah.
Because, where she was found, which is pretty close to where I am. It's like literally in between where I live and where my parents live. So in that little area, it's very busy, like very high traffic, lots of cars, lots of people all the time, lots of office buildings and like shopping plazas and stuff. So it's not one of those things where like you won't find something unusual, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it was interesting when like I was listening to some of the stuff and I was just like, yeah, 8 miles in Houston is very it's quite a lot of space, especially with all of, like the nooks and crannies in this whole area and so many bridges, so
Yeah.
many,
She could have
so
been
many
she could have been under the bridge. Like
yeah, and it's just like highways looping over on top of each other, just so many of that as well. And I'm like, you
mhm.
just never, yeah, it's a lot, right? And so,
Mhm.
but the interesting thing is that, once this happens, like when they found her, there wasn't any like physical indications that something, you know, horrible happened. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
that was horrible. So, and I guess recently they just found out that it from the autopsy was that it was through strangulation, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you can go into the other bit of it, like what
So
you think.
yeah, so like we didn't talk about it was a boy, he was a boyfriend before, and then they got married. I believe they got married last year, or like no, not last year, but like it was the same year that she died, wasn't it? They were only
It
married
was
for like a few months.
no, it was late 2018, I think.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Then my story
Mm-hmm.
is like different. But but they were still very recent. They got married,
Mm-hmm.
and this guy is a very like big guy,
Mm-hmm.
and he's been in her, her Instagram on Instagram and things like that, supportive of her. But eventually they think that, I don't know. He was just acting very bizarre when the day that she disappeared. I believe that he was like talking to her mom as well. Just like was worried and playing the worry boyfriend part, and just being very very supportive and very like what's the word called, like just
Like too
helping
involved,
too involved, like
yeah, yeah.
helping the cops, with everything, like whatever, like he's just there. And there has been talk about him actually in his past. I believe that he actually has a kid from his past ex. I believe he was either married before, but like there were, I think he had some sort of like history of violence. I don't know. I can't remember what it was before, but yeah, like he has some history. So I don't doubt possibly that he has some involvement in her death, considering that they were having problems. Because at some point, she actually were really really good friends with like a few of her friends from the MLM company, and so she would hang out with them, and they used to go like get together quite often, maybe about once a week. And she was very always active on Instagram, on social media. There's never like a day that goes by that she doesn't post anything. And so that's why people were worried when she didn't post anything on Instagram for like 24 hours, and she was at some point like towards the end where they did plan to get together. She did have plans to get together with her friends, and she never showed up. And so we found out later that they were having problems in the marriage later on, and she was actually seeing someone, like someone that she met, I forget where, but she met someone and they were like seeing each other for a little bit. I don't know for sure if this is something that her husband found out and just didn't like that, and so decided to maybe do something about it. Maybe they had like a heated argument that led to him strangling her. That is we don't know, but that's what I'm like at least thinking that is a possibility. He wasn't in question. No, I don't think the cops even like really brought him in as a suspect, honestly.
Which It's
the
interesting,
husband,
right?
right? Yeah,
Yeah, the
because
husband, yeah.
usually when someone dies, like your spouse, whatever, the other partner is the one in question.
Yeah. It's like a high
Yeah,
percentage too. It's like one
high.
in four
Yeah.
of these
Mm,
cases where it's almost always someone that you're partnered
mhm.
with, right? Because I
And
guess they call it like crime of passion
right.
or whatever, right?
So there is a
So
possibility that he could have done it based on the fact of like that they were having problems, or he had like an anger issue problem, and he, accidentally strangled her. maybe there wasn't, maybe it wasn't supposed, like he didn't mean to kill her, but he didn't know his strength. Usually people during like adrenaline or things like that, you have a really increased strength, like, and you don't know it. Like, so that could have been what happened. But because she was found naked, which means
yeah.
that he's always been one, like I think he likes her, naked. So, like I believe that there was like something that said that he likes seeing her naked or something like that. So it was very weird to find her naked.
Mhm.
Um, so I don't know. I wonder, yeah, that was my theory, that I'm looking to him as a suspect.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the quote unquote boyfriend that she was seeing on the side. Um, but yeah, what did you think about
I
that?
well, okay. I guess he does have a history of like, domestic
Mm,
physical violence, which like this is gonna probably be like the trigger warning part here. It's like,
yeah.
and like protect yourself with this kind of stuff. So, um, he does have a history of that. So, I mean, obviously, that's not like a good. It's a red flag, right?
Hmm.
Another thing that I do wonder is like, I don't. Again, it when it comes to these things, it's like one, it's either just foul play, or two, it's intentional, right?
Right.
This feels to me more like a foul play kind of situation.
Hmm.
Um, and the only reason why is I don't like to judge, like, I don't judge people based on their size, but because he is a very,
Hmm.
big,
Stocky.
muscular, stocky, looks like
Yeah,
he works out kind of guy, I can't help but to wonder if he does use steroids to
possibly.
get that physical um attribute, right?
Hmm.
So when you are on steroids, there's roid rage as
Uh-huh.
well. And I would know this because every time I get a sinus infection and I get on like they give you like a steroid. It is a Z pack. That's the steroid
Oh,
part of it,
uh-huh.
the Z packs, right?
Uh-huh.
And so every time if I ever get a sinus infection and I get on it because that's supposed to help like with the inflammation, it makes me
Raging.
very hulky. Let's just say that, right? Like,
Okay.
don't come near me, just
Give you 24
stay.
hours.
Yeah, yeah, or until like I finish up this Z pack. So I'm wondering if that is kind of like, one of
There's,
those instances where, because
yeah.
they did mention that like on Thanksgiving Day she did have an argument with him and like she
Yes.
left or something.
Hmm.
And so I'm wondering if that like was kind of like the catalyst on top of maybe whatever substance, because we don't know if he does or not. So we just
Hmm.
don't know, right?
These are
But
all speculations from us. Like this is, yeah.
it's theories, not yeah,
Yes.
theories, right? Not
Theories.
speculation, because speculation is like, I bet you didn't. Like these are just theories we're throwing out, right?
Yes.
Um, so these are just like, because when you see all these cases, like there's so many tiny little things that leads up to it, but then like you hear the true crime case and you just focus on the action and stuff. But like again, for me, I can't help but wonder if substances is a part of that,
I
and
I don't
and
doubt
maybe
that. Yeah.
right, and
Hmm.
maybe it is, let's say it is foul play, right? And let's say when something like that happens, you freak the hell out. And I'm wondering if the whole stripping her and just kind of
Trying
like,
to get rid of the DNA or whatever that's on.
yeah, and trying to not have it lead back to you, and also to make it look like a different kind of crime. Like, oh, it would never be him because he would never have, like, degrade her that way, kind of situation. It's the same with, like, if someone like came into the house and like in other cases where if someone got murdered in a home, like from I don't know, let's say like a drug deal or something like that, right? Well, they'll go in, they'll do what they need to do, and then they will completely ransack the house to make it look like a burglary gone wrong. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering if like taking off her clothes was kind of like a ruse to, make the cops think it could be like another person doing the, kind of situation.
I'm sure that was probably his intention.
Yeah.
It's just we don't know, and it's still an ongoing. It's still an ongoing investigation, isn't
Yes.
it? Like nothing
Oh,
has confirmed. I just don't understand. Like when you're with your partner, you want to be with someone that you actually trust, and you trust them with your life, and for them to, like, I don't know, it's just weird. It's like, what are the signs out there that for her that she didn't think to, like, hey, maybe this guy is not the right one for me, especially with like the whole domestic abuse thing, like that never came up, like.
Well, I think for me, like, I believe in reform. Like, just because someone has done something really horrible in the past, it doesn't mean that they will do it again.
Yeah.
So maybe she probably thought the same thing, where like maybe he did have a questionable past, but he did say that he worked on it. And I don't know what kind of work that is. May it be medication or therapy or counseling or whatever. But she mentioned to her friends that he was working on it, or he mentioned to the news that he was working on it at the time. And that's how he ended up meeting her at a better place in his life. So that, like, I believe in reform. So maybe because of that, like, it was never a red flag. However,
I was gonna say, because yes, I believe in reform, but there's only so much a person can reform. Like, if this is something that you've grown, if it's, I don't know, if it's part of your character, that he was able to do it. Like, he was able to get himself to that action, and like abuse his partner, right? Like, he had the ability to do that. For someone to reform, like how we had talked about in the past, mukbang, where it's like you necessarily can't change completely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You still could have that ability to do it. And that's the one, like, say if it's a 1%, do you really want to risk that 1% of your life? Like, she obviously risked it, and now, I mean, we're not saying it's him, but I would say like 99% to me, like, I feel like it's him.
I guess it's just it comes down to, I mean, relationships are complicated, right? Like, sometimes you put on rose-colored glasses as well too. So there's also, like, for me, I'm just coming from a place of like, okay, reformation is like, for me, would be the ideal as far as like people with with past and history and stuff, because we all have done something and it's different levels, right? But I think, I mean, even like they did mention that like she was going through like filing for divorce with him. So there was some rocky instances already. So it wasn't like this came out of nowhere. And then also her boyfriend that she did meet in, it was Tulum, Mexico.
Oh yes,
Was
that's right.
on a trip. Yeah. And it so happened that he also lived in Houston as well. So they thought that he was the so they thought that he was the one that hung out with her that Thanksgiving night. Because they said that she had a friend come pick her up to go drinking, and it was actually him. And so there's that too. So she must have checked out of the relationship already, and was already going through that process. And maybe, through the process of divorce or whatever, he might fell into a really deep depression, might have, all that other stuff too. And then they had an argument about it, and like, it's, I mean, you and I both know divorce is super messy. It's super emotional, and it's
It
a
is. And
very
with that said, like it makes sense for people to really go to therapy after, like during the process, you know.
Mhm.
I didn't have therapy during the process. I think I may have looked into it like way later, but it was not during the divorce process. But I would highly recommend for people to do that because if your emotions are not stable, you can't control it, then you need help. You know, you need to
yeah,
like seek help, and it's okay to do that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like you're going through pretty much the same process of going through death of like it's a death of a marriage, but it's the same healing process as a death
yep,
of a person. Is
yep,
like anger, denial, like you know, hurt and all that stuff until you go to the last stage of acceptance.
yes.
So you do need therapy to help you walk through these stages.
Yeah, I mean, you need to learn how to grieve, like
Right.
grieve, in a
Properly.
healthy, yeah, properly in a
Yes.
healthy manner. And I think with divorce, it's a little bit harder because you're not only you're grieving the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
you're also grieving the loss of the person who is still
Mm-hmm.
alive,
Yep. Which
right?
is the
Which is
hardest.
really
Mm-hmm.
hard. Because then you have to do everything in your like bloody mind not to like check Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, whatever. And so it's a different type of grieving, and it
Yeah.
does like it's a whole process. And then
My way, like because I didn't have go through therapy, my way of like healing was that I told myself, I gave myself 1 month of just being of doing nothing and just allow myself the time to like just check out and just be sad. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that was my
yeah,
grieving process. And then at the end of the accepting is more about, you know, hey, if he doesn't want to stay in this marriage, I am not here to force him to stay. You know what I mean? Like
hmm,
I need to allow him to be able to like let him go and find his happiness. In the meantime, that gives me the room to bring someone else in who is actually worthy of my time, you know, like
yes,
that was the way I was able to accept. Also being able to pick up like different type of hobbies, like obviously I went traveling with KL for like all month. So she
really,
really, that was, yeah, like that was like towards the end, like, you know, we definitely
yeah,
got away, you know,
yeah,
and just like did stuff. Or I picked up piano, I picked up like horseback riding, I did a bunch of hobbies to help me go through this stage. Like these I feel are like the healthier way, not to go and like savage, like not to go and like kill your soon to be ex-spouse, you know. Hi
which
big trend.
hi there, miss, thank you for joining us again this week.
Yes,
um
TGIF.
yeah,
Today we're
it,
talking about murder.
I know. We ate our macarons already, so.
I have two left. Did you finish
Oh,
yours?
well, I have three left, but I like
Okay.
it's so much sugar, and
It
I know
is. It
that
is.
the sugar crash is gonna give me something that is very similar to roid rage.
Okay, so it will calm you down.
Yeah, so it's horrible that I make jokes, but
Yeah. If
it's
you
how
don't
I
laugh at
cope.
it,
It's how
you're
I
gonna
cope
cry.
with. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
Uh,
like I think that they both needed to like go through therapy, but unfortunately she wasn't able to do that.
yeah.
Her outlet was probably finding someone new to forget about what's
Hmm.
going on, what was currently going on at the time.
Yes.
So
Which is
yeah,
normal for a lot of people to like replace something that
yeah.
feels like, and sometimes we think that keeping busy or just
Mhm.
replacing or whatever is going to help the healing process, but
Mhm.
it's so cliche, but it really does take
It
time,
yeah.
and that time is not going to be easy. It's going to be like grueling and hard, and even like every now and then I will still get these like pangs
Mhm.
of like that. I don't even know how to describe it. Like sometimes something
Mhm.
would happen and it would hit me, and I'm just like, oh, well, that
Yeah,
used to be my life. But it's
right.
hard to explain it, right? Like that used to be my life, and it could have been something, but it wasn't. But it's not like I miss it.
Mm-mm.
It's just very confusing, and you're still gonna get those little. I read something about grief that was really, really good.
Mhm.
And basically it's like whether it's a divorce or actually a death, you have to think about the whole concept like in a box,
Mm-hmm.
and the box has a button in there, and you are the big round ball, and as
Mm-hmm.
you bounce in that box, it's going to hit that red like button
Yeah.
that like brings up all the memories and the pain and the hurt. But as time goes on, that ball shrinks, so there's less chances of you hitting that
Good.
button.
Yeah.
So that's how you see grief. It's just that it doesn't mean that that
Okay.
button will ever go away. It'll still
Right.
be in that box. You just shrink over time and you hit
Yeah.
that button less.
Like
So
yeah, and of course, like, you know, at the time it was devastating because I saw my future like crumbling in front of my
yes,
eyes, what I thought was my future. But
yes,
looking back now, I see that I am so much more happier now because I was,
mhm,
both of us were really exhausting, like in our relationship, in our marriage. And you know,
yeah,
he now lives in Chicago and he has his wife and his baby, whatever, and I'm happy for him, you know, literally happy for him. Like occasionally he actually checked in with me yesterday. Every so often we'll just, you know, chat and see what's going on in each other's lives. And I think that's just the healthier way of moving on, you know, because again is usually is more about like when one door closes, like the other door opens. You want to
mhm,
allow that, you want to allow you to have that space, to have a partner that's worthy of your time. But in the meantime, while you like, you know, doing your thing, you want to make you as like the most best self of, like the
yeah,
best self of your of you know what I mean? Because then it really attracts your partner, whoever is going to be like coming into your life. Like that's the person you want to attract to, you know, like you don't want to feel like you need the other person to be you. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You yourself should be like worthy enough on your own. And if a lucky person comes into your life, then great. But then if not, then you have like all this, you know, stuff in front of you to like really focus your time on, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if Papa and Bear and I don't work, I have this this live stream.
Right? We always gotta have a plan A, B, C, D, E.
Yeah, exactly. Right? It's just like,
So
uh, I mean, so yeah, the whole. I guess like for you and I, we went through that whole like divorce process. Sucks,
yes,
grueling, emotional.
very
Um,
emotional.
so I could imagine where he was and where she
Yeah,
was in that state of the process of separation stuff, because it's a lot. Like
it
they
is.
people always tell you like when you go through a divorce, the first thing you have to do is take emotions out of it because it's all logistics at that point, right? But it's so unfair to have to ask someone to put that kind of like emotion away and just figure out the numbers and how much it's going to
Mm-hmm.
cost and what it's going to split, because as
Mm-hmm.
much as you want to hide it, like at the end of the day, it's messy, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
could only imagine what kind of conversations they're having in the background while they're going through that process, and what kind of rage and anger comes up, because then all the stuff in the past comes to the conversation
Well,
as well, right?
so the only thing is that like I just really can't remember. Was he married before?
I don't know. I just know that he has a partner and they have a child together, and she got full
Right.
custody because of his
Yeah. His
physical
okay.
or yeah,
Because I
or
keep
his
thinking,
violence.
yeah, I keep thinking that if he was married, then he has gone through this road before, so he had no excuse of really going through this type of like, you know,
Well,
emotional rage thing. But if he wasn't, then yeah, that would be acceptable. Not acceptable, but that makes sense.
yeah, but the thing was like, when you have a child with someone, you live together, the divorce part is still going to be like grueling. It's just you don't have the
Mm-hmm.
paper
Mm-hmm.
that goes through. And then you add a child onto it too.
Yeah.
I could only imagine how much worse that could be. Now, with Alexis though, I want to say that it might look like it's the same because he's already gone through the divorce process or separation process, but I don't think it's the same in this case, in the sense that
There's
now in his
jealous there
brain,
yeah, there could be
well, there's
jealousy
jealousy,
involved.
but then there's something that's in his brain that goes, wait a minute, this is a second time in a row, so is it
That's
shame on
true.
me? So then it's a realization that like, am I the monster, and it's not these women rejecting me, so that's a
Mm-hmm.
different process too, to think about. And either way, like, if let's say we're not speculating, but theory that he might be a suspect, then I I guess the whole divorce part of it and the arguing and it being foul play seems more plausible to me. You know?
At any rate, we don't ever condone violence. We
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
condone. If something happens in your relationship, just please find the healthier way of, coping. Talk to a
Yeah.
therapist, talk to your friends, family. Do not resort to violence. It's just
Yeah.
not the right way out.
But Mel is definitely more neurotypical than I am. So here's how I see it, as not as neurotypical as she is. You
Yeah,
can
that's
be in this
true.
place where you can feel like you're stuck. Like if this
Mhm.
does for him, like if this divorce happened, now I'm going to look like the man who has a second divorce on his record. And this really beautiful young woman, because she's like 20 years younger, she is
She was
leaving
young.
me. So
Mhm.
maybe in his brain, it's telling him that there's
It's an
no
ego
other
thing.
option. Yeah, it's an ego
No.
thing, but it's also probably telling him that there's no other options but to
Mhm.
have to stay in this. And if she's gonna fight me on this, I'm gonna get angry over it
Oh
as well.
gosh.
So there's that. Like it's like, yes, there are so many healthy ways to like handle relationships. Therapy is definitely one of them. But when your brain is not working with you and telling you that there's other healthy options, you don't know that there are ways out and healthier options. That's
Which
the
is
problem.
why that's why it's scary to like, trust this type of person. I don't know. Like that's giving him a chance to be in your life, thinking that he was reformed. Like that was very calculated. That was just too risky.
Well, another thing is, I also wonder if he's ever disclosed that to her.
That's
'Cause
true, because he
there's
may
also
not have.
Yeah, because we only know this because there's other sleuthers out there finding this out. So we don't know if she knows this, right?
Yep, that's true.
Uh-huh.
That is very true.
Because when you date someone, you always present to be the best. You hide all of your little stuff. You hide all of your traumas, your baggages, your family situation, your finances, and you bring the best out. So there's also, I mean, like, it would be interesting to know if she knew about this,
I don't know. It would be hard to hide a child. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but the domestic physical part, because
She could have asked, what was the reason? But yes, he could have lied as well.
he could have lied. He could have just been
He
like,
could've.
my ex is crazy and she doesn't trust me.
Psycho.
It's so, and he makes himself the victim. Like, she's crazy. She doesn't trust me with her child. I'm so heartbroken. All I want is to be with my kid, but when
Yeah.
really there's a different story. And that
I
happens all the time too.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, I it's just one of those where it's like, I don't want people to play the victim. Like, stop being the victim. You yourself have sole control of your emotions, of how you react. There are outside factors that can like harm you in like emotionally, physically, whatever, but it's your actions that tells you who you are, like how you react to it. And that's the most important thing. And which is, sometimes like people need therapy to be able to like find those like tools to help them, cope with these type of things and how to react to certain outside stimuli that affects you.
Yeah, and also I think we also live in a world where it does create so much unhappiness. You see everyone always traveling, eating French macarons, someone like, things like that. Like, we live in a world where it makes us always feel less than in some
like
way. And it's
envy is one of those, definitely, like,
it's and it's hard. And you know what? We can't control it. Like, it's such a human thing too. And so we have to practice being content in our situation before we can.
Yes.
Because if you aren't happy, you have to practice being content in your situation in order to not feel like a victim, if that makes sense. Because if you feel like, you can't get this or that, or because of this and that, but technically, but it's not because you can't get this and that. It's because you want this and that. And want is very different than need, I think, at times.
Totally.
But we also live in a very materialistic, capitalistic world as well. And I think Cherry here, she said that the loss of lifestyle could happen in a divorce, and that's very true, because like comparing my lifestyle to what it was before,
Mhm.
like it's very different.
Oh
But
yeah.
I'm definitely more content in this
I'm so much
because
more.
yeah, because and it's not even about like the flashy stuff. It's just appreciating the stuff that matters, right?
Yeah, totally.
And appreciating things that doesn't that like matters to you, and it doesn't have to matter to everyone else. And I think that's hard to learn,
Oh
and it
yeah.
takes, I think it's definitely an age thing too. Like as you get older, um all the glitz and the glam kind of like doesn't gleam as much.
Mhm.
It's not as sparkly.
Yeah,
um
I've definitely learned to like tune out things that just are not,
yeah,
doesn't make sense in my lifestyle anymore. Like I want genuine like people in my life, like people who just build you up and not and take you down, positive, influences and things like that.
well, I'm
I
logging
gone
off.
whatever, KL, you are part of that positivity. And
Well,
like
logging off.
I just, like I like anybody who are into my mind like toxic or
Yeah.
just have like just are always constantly complaining and things like that. I just turn tune them out because like they just start bringing you down eventually. You know what I mean? And you just don't need that clutter in your life. That's really is.
Yeah, I mean, as friends, like it's fine to like vent to your friends and complain and stuff like that. I think that's different than like constantly complaining about the same thing
Constantly.
all the
Uh-huh.
time. Like you and I, we complain to each other
Yeah.
about like random things, but it's like random 100 things that all like it makes it so
Yeah.
small, right? But then like
Mhm.
then we just move on, and then we're like, all right, what are
Just
we gonna
move
talk about now?
on. Like you're just
Yeah,
so much like when you move on, you just feel so much more relaxed. You just let things go. You don't focus that energy like on that anymore, and it's just so it really gives you like a breath of
a
relief, you
fresh
know what I
air.
mean? Of fresh air
Yeah,
too. And then you can use that energy and focus on what are the most important things in your life right now. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
your health, your children, KL, like your baby, like
yeah,
these are the things that matter right now. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
yeah, so to
And,
me, like it just doesn't the things that happen like in like for example like I brought up this one story to KL this morning because I was just going through Facebook and
I
going through
told
all these
her.
like news thing. I'm like, oh, we should talk about
I
this and we
told,
should talk about
yeah. No, I told her before. I was just like, I don't read the news in the morning. It
I
ruins my
know.
day. And she's just like texting me. And I'm like, what are you doing?
That was
What
the
are you
first
doing?
thing I
And
like
she's
started.
like, yeah, she's like,
Yeah,
I'm on
so
Facebook
anyways,
News.
there is this, I know, FB news, there is this one particular which I thought kind of like tied in a little bit to this is also another husband and wife
Yeah.
that it was foul play really, but like he like they found out that he killed his wife through eye drops. And to me,
Okay,
I was
how?
thinking,
I
how?
didn't read the article because I was
Yeah.
like, I don't read the news in the morning, woman.
So I'm just gonna bombard you with these links.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
because
On a Friday, on Good Friday, come
hey, we're
on.
talking about murder right now. This is
I'm sorry.
like content.
I know, I know. Okay, no, but no, seriously, you probably
um
have to walk me through the story because I didn't read it.
yeah, I actually have to remember it too. So, anyways, like, so what happened was that she has heart problems and she actually has a pacemaker
Oh,
during the time, and what happened is that the eye drops that he gave her, whatever, has this particular, like I actually screenshot it on my phone, but I'm using the phone as my my thing, so now I can't really like go back to it. But it's like tetra something that low key kind of mimics like heart palpitations and things like that. So if like narcotics don't go and test for these things, then is left undiscoverable, right?
okay.
And for him being a husband, he had her body cremated. Okay, so no like evidence, right? But on her driver's license, she was an organ donor. So she donated her organs and they were able to had her blood test and her organs tested and they found this substance. It just
Ah.
like makes me so mad. Like, why do you feel murder is like your way out when it comes to ending something? In this case was insurance, and definitely like KL
Is it
didn't
was
read this.
it?
Yeah, she didn't read
But I
this.
guessed it.
She just kept saying like, because I just, to me, I just said like, why, seriously, why do people kill their spouse? And
No,
she
wait,
she
hold on. I just pulled
the
up the
first thing that she said was insurance, and I was like, I know, seriously, but why is greed like your motivation to like kill someone? Like, I don't understand.
Okay, let's break it down like in economics term.
I
Like
don't know. It's not how. Not that I
no
don't
economics.
understand.
Hold on, economics here. Okay, so I went through the whole life insurance process like a couple of
Uh-huh.
years back. I've been denied by almost so many of them right now. I'm so tired of it because they found they. Oh my gosh. Anyways, so they found like some like my genetic makeup or
Yeah.
whatever because I'm Jack2 positive. So they're just like, don't want to risk it with this lady. Next. So okay, but like we were doing all of that, and Papa Bear does have a life insurance plan, and we were
Yeah.
doing like the math, and I was just like, dude, you are seriously worth so much more to me dead.
I know.
Now, not that I'm ever going to because this is recorded and
Right.
evidence. But like you do the math and because like the plan that he is on is where like they would give me like to match his income for X amount of years
Yeah.
to get me back up on my feet. And I think it's about like 10 or 15 years, which is still a lot of money,
That is a lot.
but I can't imagine that if someone who's willing to do this kind of crime are thinking of plans like that, or they're doing like a one lump sum cash out kind of situation, right?
Yeah.
And if you're doing a cash out situation, I've seen plans that are only like $1 to $2 million. That's not going to last very long. Like a home is $300,000 these days. Okay, fine. Then you have $700,000 left. Then you got taxes on top of that too. So it's like, well, maybe you'll end up with what? Maybe an extra $500,000 cash. That's in the grand scheme of like how long your life is going to be after
Mhm.
this happens. It's not very much.
No,
It's not
this
very
is not
much.
the
It is
route
not.
to. This is not the route to go and like make a living collecting insurance from a dead spouse. Like, come on, people. That insurance is there for in case something happens, that you're going through the grieving process. You
Yes.
have that money to help you through the funeral arrangements and all that stuff. It is not to sustain you of your life, like,
Or to get you out of
whatever.
debt.
Yeah,
Or to
but
get
like
you out of
whatever.
debt. Because
And also, whatever happened to finding a life partner that you want to be with, not someone that you want to kill off? Like, geez. What the heck? It's like, here, these are the list of the people like that I'm gonna, like this. These are the partners I'm looking for. So sign up.
Yeah, I laugh because I'm uncomfortable because now I'm
It
thinking of
is.
which king was it? Henry the fourth or fifth that was just like she didn't give me a boy, off with her head. Like it's like, are we resulting? Is it the 4th, 15th, 16th? Someone
I have no
fact checking it
idea.
up, but it's
There's
one
so
of the
many.
Henrys, right? Yeah, and so I was just thinking, like, can you imagine like that, like in modern days, like she life insurance off with her head, and then the next one and the next one. So
It just makes me. I know. I understand why you don't look at these news in the morning. Like, yeah, in the morning, I'm just like, ugh, like just reading
look
the
how
headlines.
look
And
how enraged you are.
I'm so enraged. I'm so enraged because it's like, really, people? Gosh.
It's the fact. Okay, first of all, the fact that you can little a life down so much that you think it's something of yours to take is like absolutely
That's
wrong.
so
And then
arrogant.
and then
So
to dwindle
arrogant.
it down to a price
Yeah.
is even worse to me for some reason.
And the
Like,
funny thing is, the life insurance of hers is $250,000. Is it worth it? Like, it's not even $1
oh,
million.
are you serious?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, it was like $250K. I have no idea. Like, it's just like, that's why it's so important really to find someone that you really trust. Maybe have them go through some kind of like mental test, like just something to vet them out because life is precious.
$250,000?
That's what he killed her for. Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
I am like not like to me like at first when I heard the like you're telling me the story, I was just thinking what a horrible evil person, and now like on top of that
I'm gonna have
stupid
to,
as
like,
well.
Yeah, I have to like Google now to find out. But yeah,
Oh gosh, that's like literally nothing. I mean not nothing, but like in the stretch of his life, like that's not okay. Well, unfortunately, he's not going to be able to spend any of that because he's going to be in jail.
I don't.
Has he been
So he's
charged
been
with the murder?
charged. Yeah, it just says
Okay.
man accused of killing wife with eye drops, now charged with setting fire to medical helicopter mid-flight. So he got fired from his job because he set fire to equipment mid-flight. This guy has problems, and he's only 37.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
Yeah,
so he hasn't been charged with the wife yet, but he has been charged with the arson stuff.
No, he has been accused, but it says like he collected $250,000 in insurance upon his wife's 2018 death. Has been accused of fatally poisoning her with eardrops.
Okay, well he's been accused, so he hasn't technically been charged, which means that we don't know if he's going to go to jail for that, but he might go to jail for the arson stuff.
Yeah. So it was detected high levels of tetrahydrozoline, which is an active ingredient in certain eye drops. But
actually, here's another question. Is being accused and being charged the same thing technically? I think I had a conversation with someone about it, and I can't remember if if you go into court and you're like you can be
accused of something, but you still have to go through trial to be charged, or like
actually
you have to also be charged. But like going through trial, then they would sentence you.
I don't know why I'm getting confused because okay.
I can like accuse you of something, but I haven't charged you with anything yet.
That's true. Okay, gotcha. Okay. I don't understand. The $200,000 thing is like very little. 250 is very little to me in the grander scheme of like life and death kind of situation.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you give me $250,000 right now, I'd be like totally happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, you give that to me and ask me to like murder someone, I don't know.
In exchange for life, like no.
Yeah,
no, that's not something I would be at all comfortable doing. Mm-mm.
Yeah, like I don't even think if there's amount of money that I would be able to. No, it's just too much. Like I honestly, I think I can have millions and billions of dollars afterwards or whatever, but like I'm probably gonna waste all of it away on therapy because it would traumatize me too much.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's just.
So these are the things that I read in the Facebook news
in the morning too, while drinking your coffee. So we started watching. There's a movie by because you said I was talking about this with Papa yesterday. I was like, our live streaming is about murder, and he's just like, oh, we should watch the movie Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal, and he's kind of like,
I heard.
He's like. It's really good. We only saw half of it last night because I had to go to bed. But it's basically about this guy who likes to listen on his radio, his police radio, and like chase the story as I can. Yeah, but like Jake Gyllenhaal plays this really like amazing like sociopath character that is not like it's creepy, but kind of like chuckly kind of creepy because he's so awkward and weird as well. It's a really good movie. You should see it because it's there's some murder and stuff in there too, but it's interesting. And so, but like I don't know, when it comes to this kind of stuff, like in the morning, I don't like to read about this kind of stuff because it makes me like, and in the evenings, I don't want to because then it'll give me nightmares. So there's like a very small window time for me to absorb this kind of content.
Like during the daytime, it's like this small.
Yeah, I was like, my daughter's at the park. That's when I listen to murder.
I started listening to there's this woman, I forgot what her name was, but she's the host, one of the hosts of Crime Junkie. I think you
Oh, yeah.
you sent me, right? But I found
Yeah.
her on TikTok, and one of her TikTok, actually somebody was like doing a video, and they had her playing or had a story playing, but it was about Fireball. I think that's a good
Oh,
one
it's a
to
good one.
listen to or to talk about in the
Yeah.
next mukbang murder series.
Yeah.
But that is definitely
That's good. Yeah.
Mhm. I don't know, but yeah, this is a very interesting topic that we have here.
It's and the sad thing is that what is it? Like these cases are not just one and done. There's so many of them that are so
So many
similar
different
and they're all
variations. Yeah.
and they're also tragic. And I know that Alexis' body is still at the
Oh
medical examiner's
no,
office
they didn't.
because because the
That's right.
husband is the next of kin and
No, no,
he's
no, no,
not.
no, 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 no. That was changed.
Oh, that was changed. Okay,
The court awarded the mom, the parents,
good. Okay.
her body, so they were able to bring her home to
Oh, okay. Good.
yeah.
Good.
But yes,
Okay.
he again, here's another reason why I think it's him. He didn't allow the parents to take the
Yeah.
body home. And I think the sole reason is because I don't know. I think he was behind it all.
And here's another thing that like I didn't know until I got into like all the podcasts is that like when
Mhm.
someone passes away, you actually have to pay for an autopsy. It just doesn't
Yeah.
happen. And you
No,
have to
it's true.
ask for one,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm, you
So
do.
like, so I can't imagine how many more out there is actually foul play or whatnot,
It's
It's just so
that's kind of weird though because my dad passed away like a year ago, maybe not 2 years, maybe a year and a half, and they actually performed an autopsy on him.
oh.
They
Was it
did because
request? Okay.
I don't know if it was requested by my aunts, but because the cop had me down as the point
Oh.
of contact, and so the coroner had called me, saying, "Hey, we found out what the cause of your, father's death is." So I don't know if it was requested, or if that was, or I think it also depends on the situation. Like for example, if
Yeah.
they find the body and they find the body and nothing was like seriously wrong with it, whatever, then they could say like, okay, it's natural death, then there was no reason to call for an autopsy. But if they think that there were any type of foul play, then they could actually do an
Oh,
autopsy.
they could just okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I think it just
Um,
depends. So the way that it was played out with Alexa was that she was found.
yeah. Well,
I think
yeah.
they thought that seemed kind of odd, but yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know if they requested it or if it was already, because like it's not normal to see someone naked on the grounds,
Yeah.
right? So I would
Yeah.
assume that the police station or someone would be calling for an autopsy.
Well, like the prosecutor,
Yeah.
whoever wants to take on this case, like they're just like, yeah, I think this is not normal for this. Like so I think the state would just take it on, right?
Okay, yeah,
But
that's what I
like
thought.
let's say like if you're a patient at home, and you passed away from being
Oh,
ill.
Katrina, bye. Have a great Easter weekend.
Oh, she's getting
Oh, grab some
pho.
pho. Oh, good job.
Mm,
That's a good one.
enjoy your pho.
Enjoy.
Enjoy. Yeah, so I'm just wondering if like, you're ill and you're taking home, like if you're like a terminal patient, you're at home
Mhm.
instead of in the hospital, and let's say something happens, like, I guess they probably wouldn't perform an autopsy unless it seems questionable,
Right. Unless they
right?
seem like, unless it was like, looks like foul play. And the reason why they probably thought my father, like that there could have been one was that he was found like in his room, like standing up, he passed away in his sleep, I believe, or a heart attack or something. So
Oh,
yeah, it was very
sorry.
sad.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's fine. I guess I never told you that, did I?
No, you didn't. I'm just literally finding out.
Like,
Yeah, we need to talk after this.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
that's fine.
It's just, I don't know. It's just interesting that like, you would think that an autopsy is like a standard,
With anything, cost is always involved.
Yeah, even testing rape kits or doing
Yep.
DNA tests to match
Mhm.
2 rape kits and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah.
that costs, and
It comes
obviously,
comes from somewhere.
and unfortunately, we don't have the budget for it all the time, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So, I don't know. Our system is just so overwhelmed in so many ways,
I
and
know.
um, so like there's this project that I'm working on next, and we're hoping to interview someone who was reformed, and he actually the crime was like when he was 18,
Hmm.
and he's like close to in his early 40s now,
Hmm.
and I was talking about it with Papa. I was talking about with my friend, like brought it to attention to me, and I was just like, oh, this is cool, and like I was just looking at his page and his work, and he did win some housing award for his art, and it was going
Okay.
to help pay for his housing, but
Mhm.
he submitted it in, but the thing was like they found out that he was criminally charged, and so they wanted to take the housing away. But the
Mhm.
community kind of like rallied and like to help support him through this, because it seems like he is actually reformed, and his story is that he didn't murder anyone, he just helped hide the body.
Okay.
So it was
So
funny because like
in this case, I would say because it was done when he was like at such a young age, like 18, and then
Mhm.
fast forward 20 years later, like he had 20 years to show that he's been doing
Yeah.
good deeds and all that stuff. So I think that in that case, then I would say like, okay, then you could at least have trust in this guy to he did reform, and he is
Yeah.
doing his like all those good deeds in the past, like says that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is that like Papa and I were like big on reform, because it's like our jail system is, first of
Yeah.
all, it's completely overwhelmed, overpopulated. And second of all, there are people who are in there that, one, are innocent, or two, are in there for charges that is
Very
like
minor.
minor.
You have to watch. I have to show you what that Netflix one, but I did watch. Jail prison is a multi-billion
Oh,
whatever dollar industry, and
yes.
there's a reason why, because they needed to keep the jail cells filled.
Yep.
It's just a whole nother topic for that, but like, yeah.
I mean, when you have money in it, like the morality and the ethics sometimes get a little
Yeah.
skewed, and you just hope that there are still good eggs in different institutions and stuff,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I think the whole money aspect is
Mhm.
not that money isn't great, like giving money to buy more craft stuff and macarons and
Money can solve
and
some problems, but it's not going to solve like everything.
yeah, unfortunately, I think some people want to line their pockets more
You can't. You
than
can't. You can't die with money. Come on. Do you really want to leave Earth without like having
just
something
2 bricks of
substantial?
gold right here
You can't take that with
on
you.
each arm.
I think you like all you want is to be able to like create a great life, and take those memories with you. That's like
Hmm.
bottom line. Like, don't have regrets, like that kind of thing. So you can't take money with you. You can't take
Yeah.
those gold bricks, KL.
Yeah. Yeah,
Too
don't
bad.
weigh me down so much that they'll take me straight to hell.
Yeah, right. Straight down there.
That's all it does. Just think about that.
Don't let those things weigh you down.
Exactly. So yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. It's a sad topic, and
It is a sad
I
topic.
just I'm glad that her mom was able to bury her at
Yeah.
home, and
Yeah, I'm glad
you know
too.
and and it's kind of like heartwarming to see her Instagram actually grow after the
Yeah,
story, and people are still
sad
interacting and stuff.
yeah,
So I mean, sad, but
sad
there's
and
still,
happy at the same time.
yeah. I guess like her mom said something that like it was kind of like still being able to have her alive when people leave comments.
Because
um so I can understand that. It's really sad. So like for Grudy, I did set up her own Gmail account, and so every now and then I would write her emails,
oh,
and I'll just send
I
it to
saw someone
her.
did that, and I think that is so sweet because like on her 18th, you can show her like all
Yeah,
this.
yes, yeah. So because I was gonna
Aw.
do the like from Friends where they're gonna film the 1-year-old birthday
Yeah,
and
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like
That was
and stuff,
funny.
and I thought I was gonna do that, and I was like, ah, no, it's too much. So I decided to do the email thing
I like
instead. Um, but then like I don't know, it's just like you
that.
want to leave good things behind,
Mm.
and so yeah. So like if I ever pass away, just know that all the people in my life are gonna get random gift cards because I'm just gonna be in my like hospital bed, like just
You
pre-buying
just
gift.
all you do is you give a nod to the lawyer and be like, everything
Oh
will be
yeah,
executed. Your will be
yeah,
executed.
exactly. And like everyone's just gonna get random gift cards like for their birthday for the next 5 years or something. Even after,
You're gonna make me cry. Like I
because you can
can't.
do that. I know, I
I
know,
can't.
I know.
Every
And
time
I'm gonna be,
if I get it, I'm gonna be like, no.
and I'm
Like
gonna be upstairs.
I'm like even tearing up right now just thinking
Who
about it.
says I'm giving you a gift card?
I know, but it's just the thought that counts. That makes me very like
Oh,
still like very teary.
so assuming, Mel.
I know. I said if.
Stop.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm always so
No, you're
like
gonna make me cry.
like why so sweet?
I know. I have a.
Damn it.
Well, you told me I couldn't bring the gold bricks down. I was like, I gotta do something.
Go bullion. The go bullion. You're so
Who
funny.
still carries that? Like, have you
Nobody
seen?
carries that.
But no, have you seen the vending machines in China where it's like these gold bricks and you stick your hand in it, and if you can lift the brick out and like take it out without dropping it, you can have the gold brick. Yeah, because it's supposed to be like a brick. It's like $200,000 or something, but it's really heavy.
God.
Yeah, it's really heavy.
That almost reminds me of that the sword and the stone
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, thank you, Victor.
You two are so cute. Aw.
Like no,
You
it
must
reminds me
protect
of
us
like
at all costs.
protect.
Yeah,
But like yeah, it does remind me of the sword because if you're worthy of it,
yeah,
then you
yeah.
get
And
the
so
treasure.
yeah, and you see these people like trying to take it out because it's so heavy. But I'm like wondering, how do you deposit it? Like,
You take it to the bank and you exchange it for currency.
can you? Because
I'm sure you can.
you're telling me if I carried this to Chase Bank, it'd be like,
Excuse me.
yeah.
You do need I would say like some sort of like authenticity because they're gonna want to know where you found that gold brick.
It's like iron spray painted in the
They're
towel.
like hee.
Yeah, or like, do you take it to a jeweler and then they pay
Appraise
you
it?
for it? Yeah, appraise it,
No,
or they
I
can buy it off of you.
No, because I think banks do. They do have gold bricks in the. I want to be worthy of. Yeah, right. Who doesn't want to be worthy? You just have to be able to like take it out of the vending machine.
No,
No,
that's
they
actually
have. Is that not true? Like all the.
it's not
movies
true
I've seen,
anymore.
There's like
It's
gold
not
like stacks
yeah.
in the bank.
No, back in the day,
Okay.
it used to be backed up with gold bricks.
Because no one can carry it out.
yeah, but now it's arbitrary and money it's not actually backed by anything. So hence inflation and
Interesting.
stuff like that. So, and I wonder who made that call. They're just like,
I don't know.
we don't need things to prove that this paper is worthy anything. We just got to tell you that it is.
Our economic system is just crap. They would because I swear my mom like goes and collects like jewelry because like she thinks it's worthy of something.
Yeah, but I can't imagine bringing a brick to like Wells Fargo and be like, can I deposit this?
That would be so funny. You carry it, but like
right? Like, yeah, I think there's a process to that. Like, you probably have to take it to a jeweler or a melt smith or a smith worker.
And like also imagine you're gonna have to carry that on the plane. Like you will
God.
and then the amount that you have to check, like if you had to check that thing in, oh my gosh.
You're spending like $100 for like an extra baggage.
I'm sure more than 100 because I'm sure that thing weighs like a lot.
Yeah. No, you should you should like search out for it on YouTube. It's like gold brick vending machine or something. It's funny because people can't lift it out. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, no, that's a serious question. Like, how would you deposit that though?
I'm sure if you Google it, you'll know.
Yeah. Or maybe it's one of those things where like, they're like, oh, you did this, here, we'll write you a check for it or something.
Maybe.
you know. So
That's funny.
Yeah, there's no way bricks of gold are just laying around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. They would sell Viet jewelry. Nope, to the Viet store.
Everything is to the Viet
I'm
store.
not gonna. Yeah. But also, I don't trust them because then they'll be like, "Oh, your brick is not worth that much."
They'll try to bite it to
Yeah.
make sure it's real.
Yeah, yeah.
But
and
it's
then, like,
funny. I
kinda-
used to go to those Viet stores with my mom, and like
Yeah.
they're you have to go through like the buzz door, like it's all.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot about that. That's so
It's
funny.
kind of like uncut gems. Yeah, they go through the buzz store and stuff. It's so funny because it's so normal in our culture, but then like
Yeah.
thinking about it, like outside,
That's weird.
it's freaking sketchy as heck.
It's so sketchy.
You know?
But yeah,
Like,
and I'm just like, oh, you go in, is everything's so shiny.
and the thing is, like, you know, whoever walked in most likely walked in with cash. You know, whoever's walking out is gonna walk out with some jewelry or with jewelry that they were planning
You
to
gotta be
sell. So
careful.
it's like,
You gotta be careful.
again, like the whole process is just it's crazy.
I'm actually looking into like on Amazon or something like that for some kind of like self-defense something I can
Ooh.
carry, you know, because I'm just like not as I don't feel safe anymore.
Yeah. Is like stun guns legal in your area?
I'm sure, but I'm not comfortable carrying stun guns. Again, they can use that against you. So it's more about something that I could carry that is inconspicuous, but I can use it, you know. So
I mean, when I was younger, I used to make like, little tasers out of disposable cameras.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can do it with those Kodak disposable cameras. You just gotta rewire some of the flash and stuff.
Yeah.
And so we used to, like my brother and I, we used to do that all the time and like test it on each other. And it worked.
Painful.
Yeah, it worked. So
Okay.
we not recommend, but it works if you're in the bind.
Well, I don't know. I don't have a lot of disposable cameras on hand, but
well, your DSLR, you just gotta rewire the flash on it, and that's like your little taser. Yeah,
it's an expensive DSLR, baby. So I don't think I want to rewire a couple $1,000 DSLR.
Well, especially since remember you got it like broken into and stolen too. Like remember
I got the one camera stolen, and that was so painful because those DSLR was like $3,500.
Yeah,
and they didn't even replace me for like the full cost of it because there was like a deductible I forgot about. But I had two.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I had two at the time, so now I have the one trusted one. So it's like that is going to stay with me for a while because those cameras are not cheap.
Oh, I didn't realize that the deductible was going to hit that hard.
Yeah, well, I didn't.
Man.
It's one of those where I had a high deductible, thinking like, oh yeah,
that'll never happen, right? Yeah.
Gosh, I'm just.
It always happens.
Always take your valuables with you, no matter what.
Yeah.
Don't leave it in the car.
Yeah, I mean, like the same thing happened to a friend of mine. His laptop got stolen. He's like, I never expected that someone would break it into my. Yeah, but he's like, my car is so shitty looking. Why would they ever? And I was just like, dude, your laptop, your Apple Mac laptop is like right there. It doesn't matter.
Was it shown? Because mine was hidden.
Yours was hidden. He said his was in a backpack, but like.
So the reason I think mine was targeted was because it was a rental car. So I think like if you ever go anywhere to rent a car, make sure that it's in state. Don't do an out of state license plate because those are the people like I believe that was targeted. And unfortunately, it was like I had parked it near my favorite Korean place in LA, and it is everything now that
is that the one with the big squid?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I do if I go back again, like that would be the thing that taints it.
It's like bittersweet.
It's bittersweet, but I love the squid because no other store, no other restaurant around here or anywhere that I've gone to so far makes it the exact same way. Like that place is gem. It's called Beverly Hills Suntofu. So if you guys are in the LA area, that's the place to go for fried squid.
I hope
or was it octopus? I think they still are.
Yeah.
I hope so because they were so good.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that was there. I thought it was at the karaoke bar.
No, girl. I wish.
Oh. I mean, it would have
No.
made a little bit more sense at a karaoke. Not that it should have happened, but like,
Right.
oh
Because I'm
man,
always at a
sorry.
karaoke place.
Yeah,
I love my karaoke places.
I know. Oh,
I
that
know,
sucks.
girl.
Well, I thought the candle was like 1,500. I did not know it was like
No.
35. Okay. Oh
35.
God, now that
Yes.
hurts. That hits hard.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
God, that's like rent for 2 months of rent for some people here.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh, that hurts.
Anywho, thanks for bringing
Uh,
back such painful memories.
well, I had to since
I
you're like thinking
know.
I'm sweet about sending you gift cards after my
So she
death.
just likes
Like,
to bring me straight down.
yeah, balance it out. You know,
Good job.
can't
Good
keep you
job.
up
You
here
did
all
it.
the time.
You did it. You did it. Mission
Yeah.
accomplished.
Yeah, I can keep you. Like, come on.
Thanks for bringing me back down to earth.
I know, keeping you on your toes over here.
Right?
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we can wrap up since we ate most of our macarons. We got through our
Yeah.
topic. We talk about being worthy of gold bricks. Maybe diamonds will be next in our next conversation. It's always
Maybe.
so nice to see familiar faces here, like
Yeah. Thanks for joining,
Tiffany,
guys.
Katrina left, Bit
Yeah.
Tram was here. Hello, it's Jen was here for a little bit. I don't know if she's still here. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. Next week we will be back on our crafty mess doing craft stuff, and it will be at the original time. So 10 a.m. Central, 11 Eastern,
Yep.
9 Mountain, 8 Pacific.
Good job.
I know. And I think that is it. Oh, okay. If you want to find us on Spotify, we're there, so you don't have to look at our
Yes.
faces.
So you can listen to us on Spotify.
I know, and then just deal with, I guess, audio glitches. But other than that, you don't have to look at our
Oh no,
faces
no.
on Spotify.
On Spotify, I'm actually going through and editing down the glitches. So
Really?
it's like so it's
Oh.
smoother. You know what I mean? Like I want it to be like a little bit that's easier to listen to. On there, and
Nice.
not a lot of pauses. So yeah, I've been going through the videos, which is why it's taking me a little bit longer, is because downloading the
wonder.
video takes a while, and then I'm also
Yeah.
editing the audio.
Okay, no wonder, because I was listening to it, I was like, man, that sounds smooth. Like, and then I watched one of them back. I was like, no, this is not the same.
No, I cut some things out to make
Okay.
it smoother, and also to make it make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And you're doing it through Anchor too, or are you just doing it on Final Cut?
I did it. I'm editing through Adobe Premiere, and
Oh, okay, gotcha.
and then just uploading on Anchor. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Sounds
we're going on tech
good.
here, you guys. We're on Spotify, soon to be on Apple Podcasts.
Yes, then you'll find us soon on OnlyFans, and we'll have merch.
No, but we will have we should have merch coming up.
all the stuff.
All the stuff is coming. All right, guys.
All right. Also find us on Instagram. We do a
Yes.
midweek live stream on Instagram, so just to catch
Yeah.
up. All right. Bye, you guys. Have a great weekend and Easter holiday if you celebrate.
Yeah.
Have
Bye.
fun. Bye.